All right, it is 7 o'clock, and this is the 14th of October, and this is the Town of Auburn Planning Board. And we are opening the meeting, and I would like everybody to stand and salute the flag, please. Small as it is. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. And first thing we have is an A&R on Prospect Street from Mr. Stelmach.
Mr. Stelmach is here. We passed the plans around. You guys should have gotten those in your
We
packets.
did.
If you have any questions, Mr. Stelmach is here to answer them.
All the lots meet the regulations.
All the lots meet regulations.
Okay, and they all have frontage on Prospect Street.
That's correct. It's straightforward A&R.
Any questions? I would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second? Second, there's a motion to approve and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Okay.
Have fun building your lots.
So we've got one pen and several, well, at least you get the Mylar that needs that permanent marker to sign.
Okay.
And then you'll sign those 3 paper copies. Nice and easy.
It's a new pen. Usually don't work by the time it gets around to me.
Oh, really? Yeah, that is a new one. Came with the position.
You know, good deal. Good riddance to Alan. Jeez, new pens.
And this one? These two are fine.
Oh, it's over the pen.
I'll contact you tomorrow.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure, I'm gonna have a decision after the clerk. I'm pretty sure. So, I'll just let you know if it's approved or now. If you have to wait for a decision, it can get stamped by the clerk. I'm not sure what the...
Okay, we're probably not gonna take it right in anyway.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. If we have it, it's gonna
We'll
be...
wait till, you know, we'll come in with the rest of the plans.
Okay. Sure. All right. I'll take these ones.
Okay.
All right, gentlemen.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great
See you again soon, thank you.
And not 7:05 yet.
I'll reset my watch.
Why don't you come set up here, Paul, and we'll start right at 7:05.
Do you want to skip to the discussion?
No, we'll do the 7:05.
This table higher is it right? Or is this chair low?
Chair's low.
That chair's low.
That's
probably
why.
low.
That's what it is. What is it called now?
You should have brought your little pillow with you, the
Bentley's.
same one you
Bentley,
use in
I
your
feel like a little
car.
kid at the table. And my wife is sitting across from me and her seat was higher.
Oh, you should have brought the same pillow you use in your car.
Yeah, it's a little booster seat there.
Intimidation factor. So it's like
Yeah,
White
make-
House.
make the-
White House set it up to like
In
your
the wrong chair.
It's all
president's
psychological.
higher than
Yeah.
everybody
All
else.
psychological.
The whole thing about presidents meeting other
17.
heads of state too, is which side you shake hands, how far you are away, the right hand, whether you hold his arm or not.
Could it be?
And that's why I would never want that position.
All right, it is 7:05, and we have a hearing
That is all.
by Mr. Jem requesting a special permit extension under section 4.2, open space residential development of the Auburn zoning bylaws for property located at 23 Brook Street, Auburn, Massachusetts. Mr. Jem.
Well, apparently the open space special permit's only good for 2 years, but when we got approved 2 years ago in January, I went to record the plans in July and I couldn't. They were more than 6 months old. Remember, I had to come back before the board
Yeah.
August of 2013 and record the plans. Since then, I have sold the property, and it has taken some time to find a buyer. And now, obviously, January is a 2-year end of the special permit, and I'm requesting that the special permit be extended for the purpose of my buyers being able to develop the property.
Any questions?
My only question for you, is there a subdivision road in place or anything of
No,
that nature
there's
involved in this?
nothing there.
So there's no bond that's outstanding or anything of that
No,
nature?
there's a covenant in place currently, and the buyers will probably be putting up a bond
Okay.
for the road in order for me to sell them the property, so that my bank will have surety that the road's gonna get built, so that I can transfer a title. But no, nothing has been built yet. The only thing that's there now is my driveway.
Okay.
Eric, is there any issues regarding that? As far as the bond?
We have no bond.
No, I realize he has no bond. Is there any issues with that, though?
Not that I'm aware of.
No?
No, I'm sure that will have to be an agreement that the new buyers, in order to take up their, and proceed with the plans for the subdivision.
Is that something that should be mentioned before we vote on an extension?
I wonder if we could put in a condition that at least mentions a performance agreement.
Because, I mean, if it was Paul doing it,
Mhm.
still, okay, that's one thing, but it's
Right.
not.
Right,
Now we're dealing with a third party.
yeah.
Well, you're not yet. I haven't transferred a title. The covenant
Well-
states that if I do transfer a title, I have to inform the board that I've transferred title and who it is that I'm selling it to. I haven't
Yeah.
sold it yet, technically.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to put in, if the property is sold, okay, that we look for a performance bond,
Okay.
okay? That just covers both ends of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're gonna have to come in for building permits and everything anyway.
Now,
We need
what I'm
teeth.
what I'm not familiar with, Paul, is you submitted subdivision plans for Whitetail Run. Is that correct? So, are they gonna take up those plans as well? Do you know, or is this?
I'm selling them 8 lots. There are 9 lots. My house is on lot
One.
9R,
Yeah.
Mhm.
okay? I've sold them 8 lots,
Okay.
along with Whitetail Run,
Mhm.
the road itself.
Okay.
They will develop the property
Mhm.
and build the road out.
Right.
Once the road is built out sufficiently that I can sell my house, then my house will go up for sale.
Hmm.
That probably won't be, it's
So
probably
we
gonna
have to
start
do all
next
new
That's-
spring.
plans and
Yeah,
all new,
yeah.
yeah.
And all the lots are already delineated on the original
Yep,
plan.
they're all, right, they're not gonna come in and make any
Change it.
changes. They're buying it as is, they like it the way it is, and they're gonna develop it the way it's been approved.
Right, because everything's gone through everything, like,
Yep, all the orders of condition, they'll get copies of everything, and then I will inform the board and other boards that this has taken place.
okay, well, what's the,
So is that a motion? You
No.
need a second?
No, we need a motion.
Okay. Make a motion to extend intersection 4.2.
now, when will it be extended from? Will it be extended?
January.
From January, all right, so it'll be extended from January for 2 years.
So is that was my next question, is do we have to establish a time or is it an automatic?
Well, the
2-year
other one,
extension?
the other one runs out in January, right?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, and you do establish a time. What I've heard is that with an extension, in general, you do 6 months to a year, and then they would have to come back again at that point for another
Another one?
extension.
All right,
If,
so,
you know, if the new buyer doesn't move on the special permit.
I like
So,
to see a year, that gives them
I
a
would-
chance to get up and running,
All
and then
right.
if there's any issues, you can say, hey, we're not
Yeah.
extending your
Yeah,
special permit.
and I would
comfortable with
recommend a
With a
year as
year?
well.
Yeah, all right.
I like-
We have the motion down.
Okay.
Is there a second for the motion?
I'll second it.
Any comments from the audience?
Pretty much the way the whole process went.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So vote.
Okay.
All right, and the next thing here, it says discussion of cistern language for subdivision.
You're all done.
Oh, you're all
Can I
set.
ask one more question, please?
Well,
Yes, in
it's
favor
kind of
of the board.
closed, but it's closed,
This is-
but
this is-
this will be,
This is something besides that. I'm trying to sell my property to Wingspan Development, by the way. They're the ones that are buying it. And I have a mortgage on my property through Rollstone Bank. Rollstone Bank needs to issue a partial release. Because I'm going from 11 and a half acres down to my 4.5 acre lot 9R. Well, they've been going back and forth for weeks now with the bank's attorney. And he wanted a letter from the planning board stating, or the town planner, stating that my driveway was of adequate grade and width to provide access to my home. So I saw Adam last week, and he wrote me a letter, said, per our conversation, in the opinion of this office and the Town of Auburn Planning Board, the property located at 23 Brook Street has an existing driveway that is of adequate grade and width to provide reasonable, practicable access to the home owned by Paul and the Gem. That's what I figured he wanted for a letter, so I give it to my bank attorney. He says, no, I don't want it to say that. Technically, my driveway is now Whitetail Run. My house is now Lot 9R. He wants it to say, in the opinion of the Town of Auburn Planning Board, it is the opinion of the Auburn Town Planning Board that Whitetail Run is of adequate width and grade to provide reasonable access to Lot 9R and the home thereon owned by Paul and Linda Gem. Basically, it's a statement of fact. We've shown him pictures that the assessors have. He has all the plans too, showing existing conditions, which shows my driveway going right down Whitetail Run, going right to my house. We've shown him a picture from the assessor's office, showing my house and Whitetail Run and my driveway going right to it, but he still wants the letter.
Paul,
Technically,
here's the story, Paul, okay, on that. I'm familiar with what you're looking for, I'm familiar with what needs to be done, okay? Through Eric. Eric would have to design and make the letter with legal advice, okay? And I think that before he writes that letter out, he should get some kind of legal advice on where to start and where to stop on that letter, okay? That's got nothing to do with, the board.
I know.
The board can't do nothing about that.
And that's why I got Adam to write the letter, and because I've been using this driveway for 20 years. All my bank
Yeah.
wants is basically a file stuffer.
Yeah.
They want to know that I have access to my home, period.
As a town planner,
Yep.
okay, Eric has the right to represent the board to make a letter like that, okay? But I would caution him that he should get legal advice before he does it.
Okay, can I give you a copy? You gonna be the next town planner?
I am for the time
I
being.
take it? Okay. Well, in order for me to get a partial release from my bank, I need a letter that technically states that my driveway is Whitetail Run and my 23 Brook Street is now Lot 9R. That's the way he wants it worded, because that's what it's gonna end up being. He wants to just make sure that I have access by way of reasonable grade and width. And I've been going up and down this driveway for 20 years, so I'll give you a copy of the letter. And let me know if you can write a letter that states simply that and sign it, then I can give it to my bank attorney.
Did the attorney for the bank put what he needed in writing?
Yeah,
Is that the letter there? He has it in writing?
I wrote it. Maurice told me what he wants. You know, the driveway wasn't good enough, he wants it Whitetail Run, because technically, since I recorded the plan, my driveway is now Whitetail Run, even though and he knows it's not a built street yet. It's a paper street.
Right,
And he knows that I'm not 23
I-
Brook Street, I'm
I
gonna be
agree.
9R.
I agree with you, okay, but
It's semantics.
but that's something
Yeah,
that,
that's what I would
that
wanna
rests
be-
in your,
Yeah,
that rests in your hands, it really does.
Right.
because your road, your driveway does not conform to what a street would be.
That's,
Yeah.
and he knows
That's
that.
why I
He's
would
not
want-
saying, all he's asking is that it has adequate width and grade for access to my house. That's it. He's not asking for you, it's not, obviously, there's a whole procedure to have a street accepted by the town. That's not what he's asking. He wants to make sure that I have reasonable access to my house, period. And by rights, because I have frontage on Whitetail Run, I have a right to pass and repass even after I sell it, because I have frontage on Whitetail Run. So that issue, once it's up and running and under construction, is not a problem. It's right now transferring this chunk of land to them and leaving behind Lot 9R. They want to make sure that I have access to my house, which I do. And this is the way he wants the letter worded. I've been pulling my hair out for weeks. It's just, I'm about ready to go to the bank president, to be honest with you. But I don't want to go behind this guy's back. This is the bank, the attorney representing the bank, so.
Sure.
And it's basically a file stuffer
Mm-hmm.
in order for me to get a partial release. So I'll keep in touch with you.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
I'll give you
I'll be
my-
happy to look into
Let me
that.
give you my cell phone number. It's 508 864 8999.
All right, Paul.
You want the copy of the letter that Adam wrote?
That'd be helpful.
'Cause he had no problem with it. He's seen it before. That's not the original. That's a copy.
Okay.
All righty?
Okay,
right.
You good?
Good luck.
Thank you.
the next thing on the agenda is discussion of cistern language for subdivision rules and regulations.
So I would ask that we delay this again if the rest of the members are okay with that.
I would say we are,
Okay.
okay?
I'm in favor of that. One thing that I would ask you to seeing it's just a discussion, I can discuss it. It's not a hearing. So I would like put into the, you can talk to the chief about that on your own probably. I would like the 3 bids on what the cost is, the actual current cost to put these cisterns in, okay? That was a big problem with me and probably some of the other board members too, I'm not sure, but. And I would also like at the very end of the, the rules and regulations to put in that before any of these are put into effect, that it would be completely a decision of the planning board. Okay? So that later down the road, nobody can misinterpret it and say, look, the rules and regulations say that it's got to be 4 house lots to 1 cistern or 8 house lots to a
Sure.
cistern, okay? It's strictly going to be up to the board to make that decision. And that's got to be written into the rules, otherwise it can be, it can be gotten around. Okay, this way, if it's written into the rules and regulations, I think that there's no way anybody can get around that,
Okay.
all right? So you can discuss that with him, and then when he comes before the board, okay, to finalize whatever he's got to finalize, we won't have to get into that.
So just to be clear, that what I'm hearing is you're saying that if there are recommendations for, say, a formula on cisterns per house or something like that, that essentially the board would decide how many cisterns per house, despite what the regulations say.
No, I'm saying that the board would have the final authority to say, we think that this area is so remote that it would need cisterns, okay?
Okay.
Or, we don't think it's far enough remote
That it does need
to
cisterns.
qualify for cisterns.
Okay.
But I think the board,
So
regardless
general-
of who's on it at the time, should make the final decision.
Right, to that point, that was one of the things that we had brought up originally, and I think there might be a condition already in there
Okay.
that says this is entirely the purview
Of
of
the
the
board.
planning board's discretion.
If there is something in there that says that, I haven't read the
think
most
what would
current
be
one.
helpful is if the latest version, if you could just check with the chief and get the latest version of that,
Yeah.
and get that out to us. I think
Hmm.
some of us will be going off.
That's a good idea, yeah.
So,
Yeah. Sure.
if you can email it out to everybody, make sure we're going off the right stuff. That'd be helpful.
Okay.
And how much land area do these things take up?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot on my street's $143,000. So if you're gonna take, and there's 28 houses, so if you're gonna have 6 of those cisterns, how many house lots you gonna take?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And who's gonna maintain them?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For the other members of the board too, while we kind of have this going, I had sent an email. I mean, we've been talking about this since last November. It's almost almost a year now. But at that time, sent an email to the Home Builders Association of Central Mass, asking them to review it. They've made some comments, which the chief has forwarded, and I believe he's incorporated most of those, which I think it might address some of your concerns in that as well. So if we can get that latest version, I think that'd be
That would help,
make
yeah, that
sure-
would help, because I haven't read the latest version.
Yeah.
Me either, I'm still working
No.
on it.
Okay.
All right,
So be sure to
Okay.
pass that along.
Yep. All right, new business.
Could I just make one more comment on, just related to the cisterns? We did schedule, or at least at your last meeting, talked about a public hearing for the decision on the cistern language on the November meeting. Is that something that we still want to do? We want to push that to December, or?
Probably push it out.
Push it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which,
So we'll
especially
just-
because the November meeting is consolidated, I think
Yeah.
probably doesn't make sense to.
Okay.
whatever you
Yeah.
wanna push it out to.
You might wanna-
Consider after the first
Yeah, I
of the
would,
year.
I would
Yeah.
push it out
Yeah.
until maybe the first meeting in
For the
January.
first
January,
meeting in
February,
Okay.
2027.
So, do you want to
Push it to January of
discuss this?
2015, and then you can decide.
We'll
if
go
you
from
want
there,
to-
yeah.
Okay, so go to January 2015.
And you want to discuss it at the 28th, on the 28th of this month?
Discuss
Is
this
that enough
again.
time?
Yeah, I think if you can send out the draft, I'd like to at least look at it. I think it probably makes sense for us to
To
have
look
the
at it.
discussion at the next meeting. That way, if there is comments, feedback we have, that
On
gives
the
the chief
final
enough time
or
to
the latest
get
version.
into that, and then we would have the hearing in January.
Yeah, we can highlight on that particular one any issues we have.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
The ones
makes
that we
sense.
still have.
Okay.
Okay, so new business. Any new business to come before us? We have signatures for Stanton Street.
So, Stanton Street, I jumped the gun on that.
Okay,
You guys recommended that the town accept the road.
yeah,
That is going before
Before town
Board of
meeting.
Selectmen tonight,
yeah,
and we'll go before town meeting next week.
okay.
So after it passes in town meeting, then,
Okay.
we'll have you guys bother with the signatures.
Okay,
Okay, that's good.
sounds
Yeah.
like a plan. Minutes for 2 September 2014. Any additions, deletions, corrections?
Okay, there are only certain people that can accept that particular
Yes.
one, yeah.
Yes.
And on September
2,
2, that would be this one, I can do it, Ronnie Brooks can do it, Jonathan Weaver, and Paul Kosky. So Wendy, you can't vote on that. I vote to accept I make a proposal to accept the minutes of September 2nd.
Second.
second, the motion's been made and seconded. Any questions? Aye, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Great.
Okay,
Now we got the 23rd.
Just
Me,
the,
Wendy, and Jonathan.
right.
Lundgren's, name is misspelled.
Oh,
It's Lljungren.
good catch. And I'm assuming that's on the Santam Road.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Any other omissions or corrections?
No,
I would entertain a motion.
make a motion to accept
And
the
is it-
minutes of September 23rd.
Is it seconded?
Second. Yeah.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
That's accepted. Correspondence?
No new correspondence.
No new correspondence?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Is it seconded?
Second.
Motion is made to adjourn and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.